Welcome back to Greater.inc, everybody, where you know you are great anywhere yesterday, but you'll be even greater tomorrow. You already know what day it is.
Tuesdays with Tony.
Tuesdays with Tony. Today we got an interesting topic for you today. Recover while moving. Recover while moving. And why this is so interesting is because yesterday I actually got to see the physical training part of Tony Jackson.
Yeah, you see, I got the gear on. This is intentional. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to sweat. So
you know what I'm saying. And when we were working out, after about six of those bleacher runs, I was like dog tired, and he was like, recover while moving. And I thought it was so important, that statement that he said, recover while moving, because I thought about when you're injured, you can't just sit and think about your injury. You can't just sit and have pity on yourself, but you have to literally recover mentally, emotionally, physically, while you're moving to that journey or that objective that you want to hit. So you have no time to just sulk and be in that place. What does that really mean for you, recover while moving? Why do you say that?
For me, it's like we go through so much in this lifetime, in every area of our lives. We're facing adversity, and you get to a point when you're broken. You know what I mean? You get to a point, like you got to that point where it's just like, do I have anything left?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I always talk about it. What gives something value is that it costs something that's limited. It's a limited resource. That gives something value. And so time is limited. Treasure is limited. And energy is limited. And so when you get to that point, because I'm sure when you got to that point, you was like, there's no more energy.
Yeah.
It's like, my body, like, I physically can't do anymore.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So when we get to that point in life, in our relationships, in our work, in our education, when we get to that point, we can't just stay still. We have to recover while moving. And so even though whatever it is painful, even though, we bandaged up a little bit, we have to recover while moving. And so even though you're hurt, even though you're injured, you can't stop moving. Like the show still has to go on.
Yeah.
So that's why I say recover while moving. It's important that we're not bent over in the workout, and I say recover while moving. So if you're catching your breath, you're making sure you're walking. Making sure you're walking. And the same thing in life, you can't just bend over. You got to make sure that you're still moving. Make sure that you're still moving towards whatever it is, even if you're getting there at a different pace than you expected. Because the last 2 bleachers, I was like, if you can't run them, just walk them.
Yeah, just walk them, Jonas. I walk them too.
Yeah, just walk them. But we have to stay moving.
Yeah.
We have to continue to move, and that's life right there.
Yeah. I think about when I think about recover while moving, I think about adaptability. I think about always understanding that situations in your life change. I think about the book, Who Moved My Cheese? And in this book, there's two mice and two people. And the mice are very instinctive, right? So they're in this big old maze and they're looking for the cheese. And cheese represents your next success or your next good thing in life, right? So in the book, in this maze, the cheese is there, but the cheese doesn't stay for long.
Right.
So the only thing in life that is permanent in your life is change. That's the only thing that's going to really be permanent in your life is change. Everything's going to change. So in this book, Who Moved My Cheese, after the two mice and the two people, him and Ha, they find the cheese, they get kind of comfortable, right?
Right.
So the two mice, they like, all right, we eating this cheese, but then they leave the maze. They leave the part of the maze where the cheese was, and they go on to find the cheese. But him and Ha, the two people, they still chilling, but the cheese doesn't get replenished. They just eat the cheese till it's gone, right?
Right.
So I believe it's Ha who's like, yo, the two mice then left. They did. So obviously they know something that we don't know. Right. So he's like, look, we got to go out and move to find some more cheese. But him is like, nah, bro, I just want to stay here because somebody moved my cheese. Like the cheese is supposed to be here. I shouldn't have to do anything else, right?
Right.
So what I think about that is when you're recovering while moving, when you're hurt or you're injured, you can literally be like, nah, I don't want to move. I want to just stay in this place. I want somebody to feel sorry for me. I want to feel sorry for myself. You know what I'm saying? That I tried to do something good for myself. And I'm in this position of pain or struggling or whatever it is. Instead of just saying, you know what, I'm going to move, keep on moving. And while I move, I'm going to get my lungs back. I'm going to get my energy back. I'm going to get my perspective back. You know what I'm saying? So I thought about that because after we left the stadium, right? And we walking all the way to the gym, I'm like, dog, I don't want to walk no more. I don't want to go no more. But by the time we got to the gym, like my breath, my air was back in my lungs. I could breathe strongly. You know what I'm saying? I was moving at a better pace. So I was like, yo, what if I would have just been at the daggone tracking? Like, nah, Tony, I'm good on this. I'm going to just call it a quits. You know what I'm saying? But you got to gain something from it. Definitely.
And then you have to think, what happens when you do everything right, but you don't get the reward that was intended? You know what I mean? So what happens when you, what would you do if you clocked in, right, 40 hours this week? You go to pick up your paycheck from your boss, and your boss is like, great job, you did an excellent job, but this week we're not paying you.
What?
Exactly. Exactly. You're like, excuse me?
Yeah,
like, I put in the work.
Yeah.
I did everything right. I deserve it.
Yeah.
I deserve the reward.
Yeah.
But life will put you in a place where you will work hard and you'll do everything right.
Yeah. Still not get the reward.
And still not get the reward. And then life will tell you, go back and do it again. Exactly like you did the first time. And so that's when you have to tap into that. Okay, yeah, I'm hurt. I put in this work. Blood, sweat, and tears. But now, I have to do it all over again. I have to do it all over again. And when you get to the finish line and they don't have the medal, they don't have the trophy, you have to walk back to the start. That's the recover while moving. And so you walk back to the start. And while you're recovering while moving, you're not stopping. You're getting back to where you started. And mentally, like you said, mentally you're getting yourself ready. Mentally you're like, okay, I didn't get the intended result this time. But, this time we're going to do it all over again. Matter of fact, this time we're going to do it better even though we did it good the first time. And then, you know what I'm saying, your legs are recovering from the race. Your body is recovering. Your spirit is recovering. That's that recovery right there.
I think what's so powerful in the recovery while moving is most times we think it's our body that can't go no more, but it's really our mind.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Big fact.
when we tell our mind that we can do something, that's all we need. Because our body just does what our mind does. Because you can't tell me you can take a civilian and then put him through Marine training and he comes out a Marine. That wasn't because his body was Marine body. Mm-hmm. It was his mind became a Marine. Or you put somebody through the Army. Their body wasn't no different than nobody else's body outside, but they put them through a training that trained their mind to train their body. Right? So when I think of recovery while moving, you're tired. You feel like you should be further along. But it's not the work that needs to recover. It's your mindset that needs to either adapt or your mindset that needs to be altered to a new perspective so that you can actually recover and be better than when you started.
Exactly. And you said, like, what you just said was major. You said you have to adapt. You have to adapt. You have to adapt. There has to be some type of evolution.
Yeah.
There has to be some type of evolution. And the perspective, when your perspective changes, your mentality is different. And so, when we were running, I think you had maybe like 3 left or 6, whatever number it was. And I was like, if 7 didn't beat you, 3 won't.
Yeah.
And that's just a change of perspective. Because you were thinking, man, we got to do 10 of these. Dang, we got to do 10. We got to do 10. Yeah. But when I changed how you were thinking about it, I'm like, you already did 7.
Yeah.
Like you did 7, 3 can't beat you if you did 7.
Right.
And you know that's just simple math.
Wow.
Like I know if you did 7, you could do 3 more.
Yeah. Right.
You feel what I'm saying? But if you on that, man, we got 10, and I already did 7, man, and I don't even know if I got 10 in me, but we on 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's 3.
Yeah, we not even on 10.
We're not even on 10. We on 3.
We on 3. And if you can do 7, you can bust out this last 3. And then the feeling after you bust out those 3, and then you can say, "Yo, I did 10."
Right.
That takes off the nostalgia of oh my gosh, like the 10 is like the big number. And what we were talking about yesterday was the way you move a mountain is by taking the small pebbles out first. Like you cannot look at your big goal of writing your book and be like, yo, I want this book to be 20 chapters, 200 pages, non-stop reading, but you haven't wrote your first chapter.
Yeah.
That's only 5 pages. That's non-stop reading. You can't say you want to be a physical trainer like Tony and only be like, I don't have a booming client base yet, but you don't even work out yourself. Like, you work out somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or a chef. You want a big old restaurant, but you're not even bringing your food to work to have people try. You know what I'm saying? To see how people are interested. So you have to start somewhere, right? You have to start somewhere. And the beautiful thing about it was 1, 2, 3, 4 leads up to 10. And if you only focus on that one step at a time, then you'll get to it. So, like yesterday when we were running those bleachers, I was like, dog, it's a lot of bleachers. But I had to get to a point where it's just one step.
Right.
One step at a time. And once I take that one step at a time approach, after a while, I'm at the top. And then I can be like, I really did this.
It's one step at a time, man. Everything you have to embrace the process above all. Above all, embrace the process. What it takes to get what you want. The process is so important, and what happens is people feel that they deserve the product, but they don't know that they're built for the process. Like, you know, E.T. He always talked about lions.
Yeah.
Like lions this, lions that, lions love to hunt. That's true, man. Like lions hunt. That's what lions do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a speaker. Speakers speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what we do.
Yeah.
So understand, like, this is what you built for.
Yeah.
This is what you built for. Like somebody said something on Twitter. They was like, I don't think school is meant for me anymore. This is like somebody that goes to AT. And I'm like, you said anymore like it was for you, but now it's not. What's for you is for you. You're built for it. So once we get to the point where our perspective is not focused on the weather, but it's focused on our structure, the essence of how we're built, the essence of who we are. You think they scared when the wind blows in this building? You think the building's scared when the wind blows? No, like that. This right here, they like, this can stand it. This is new too. This is a new building, you know. That this is good. Like they're not worried the wind blow. It was raining this morning when I went to the gym. The building, they don't care about the rain because it's built for it. It's built for it. So once people really get to that point where it's like, yo, I'm built for it. Like this is meant for me.
Yeah.
Then it's crazy. Like when you get to the point, like you want that body that you used to have, or you want your body to be a certain way, or you want to be healthy, you want fitness. When you realize that that's what's meant for you, when you realize that what you want wants you. That's what my man Simon T. Bailey says. He said, what you want wants you. What you want wants you. And so as much as you want to be fit, fit wants that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like Key, he got the fake games going and everything going. But he used to be big. Like he used to be big. You can tell by his physique now. He's like, okay, he in shape, but you can tell he used to be big.
Yeah. But he wanted it. He wanted that. One thing I love that you said was, don't be afraid of the weather. And I'm thinking like, when we look at our dreams and our objectives, we look at them like a thunderstorm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie. Some people like when it thunderstorms. Like some people like to see lightning. Like you like it.
Netflix
like,
and chill, you know what I mean?
Like you see it and you're like, yo, like it's terrifying, but you also want to see it sometimes, right? Like you don't want to get hit by lightning, but it's kind of dope when you see lightning come down. You know what I'm saying?
When it hits somebody else, it's real good.
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm saying? Somebody else's house is like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? It look cool from this side of town. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like you want to see it, but it's also terrifying at the same time. Right. And that's just like our dreams and our objectives and whatever you want to have for your life and manifestation. Like you see it, but then the work behind it is like, well, that's kind of terrifying too. But what I love what you said is, don't be afraid of the rain or the weather. Make yourself fit for it. Put whatever you have to put on so that you can actually go outside in a rainstorm and be okay. Like if it's raining cats and dogs, you bring that umbrella. You bring those rain boots. You bring those swishy pants that aren't going to get wet and soaked, right? And I think about that in your dreams. If you want to have something in your life or you want something bad enough, start preparing yourself for that so when it does come, you're already ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to a Spanish-speaking country or a French-speaking country, you need to have your mind in those kind of books or those kind of seminars or those kind of Rosetta Stones.
Yeah.
So that when you get there, it's like, I'm not afraid of it. You know what I'm saying? Or if you want to be in pop culture and you want to work in a sneakers boutique, put your mind in all stuff related, pop culture, rap culture, sneaker culture, so that when you get into those interviews or those spaces that you can actually speak and people will feel like you have something to offer. Most time what I think is people feel like they don't have anything to offer, so they quit before they even try. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like you could, let's say you speak on this campus, but what if you really didn't have confidence in your voice? Not even to say you don't have content to give. Right. You just don't have confidence in your voice. How many blessings would you have missed out on? You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Just by being afraid. And one thing I wanted to ask you, is it okay to be afraid? Like a lot of people are like, they don't want to do it because they're afraid. Is it okay to be afraid?
It's absolutely okay to be afraid. It's okay to have fear. You know what I'm saying? It's that uncomfortable feeling that often propels us to what it is that God has for us. All right, so you know if you get up and you don't have no butterflies before the game, then it might not be the sport. You know what I mean? Yeah, like this has to be worth something that comes with value. Yeah. So if it means something to you, you want to perform the best. Yeah. You want to be the best. And I'm thinking about the scripture. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. But you gotta think where you're going. The valley of the shadow of death. And everybody like, yeah, I'm trying to live that life. I'm trying to live it. You got to see the shadow of death first.
That's tough. That's tough. You know what I mean? Like when you think about that, when you bring that into reality, you say, yo, the valley of the shadow of death, you read that scripture, and this, you know what I'm saying, that's Psalms 23, so you read it. A lot of people know Psalms 23, but they don't really put that in life. Like when you walk in life and you see like all opportunities are dying, or people around you are dying, or situations don't seem like they're prospering, do you really say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, my car won't start. I lost my job. My kid's not acting right. My best friend ain't messing with me no more. Right. Do I still trust God and what God has placed in me to be manifested? Or am I going to just quit? Or am I going to recover while moving? You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Am I going to recover while moving? And I'm thinking, does faith recover? Like, you got to really recover your faith sometimes.
Oh, yeah. You absolutely have to work on yourself. And like, Psalms 23, I try to say that every morning. And I have, like, affirmations that I read in the morning. That builds up my faith. That's recovering while moving. And so, you know, when I'm getting dressed, I'm saying it, and I'm reading it, and I'm getting right and getting ready. You know what I'm saying? That's recovering your faith. Yeah. That's recovering your faith. And also, you have to realize that he said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Yeah. So, he has to be conscious of the fear before he says he fears no evil. Right? You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, if there was really no fear present. You know what I'm saying? He had to affirm that. He had to affirm that. And if you know, Psalms is really prayers.
Yeah.
They're like prayers and poems to God.
Yeah.
And so he's telling himself, like, listen, you don't fear evil. You don't fear evil.
Yeah.
But you gotta understand this in your human nature to fear.
Yeah.
So you have to speak to the nature of you and say, okay, look, I fear no evil. Death is right. Death is breathing on my neck. Let it breathe there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I love that. I love the fact that you said you have to be conscious of your own human nature. You have to be conscious that you might be scared. You got to be conscious that you could become nervous. You got to be conscious that you might get anxious or worried. But being conscious of those things, then you can have power over them.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
Like you said,
that's
though I walk
nature.
through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. But he understood that there would be fear attached to the valley.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Like, it wasn't that he was just having fear. No, the fear was attached to this. And because I know this, I'm going to experience this. And because of those things, now I can have power over both of those things.
Exactly. That's major.
That's major.
That's major.
That's major. You gotta, if you are aware of what you're dealing with, then you can adapt. But if you go into something blind, you might not know to adapt. Or if you go into something blind and you just let the fear take over because you didn't understand that what you're walking into might cause those emotions, you know what I'm saying? Then you won't have power over the situation. The book I was just reading before we started shooting, The 48 Laws of Power, he was saying emotions, when you let your emotions ride, that is the number one way to cut your power. The number one way. You cannot be powerful if you let your emotions rule you. And we can all think about that time when we got flustered, when we got angry, when we got a little emotional, and then we found ourselves not being able to control what the next step for our life was. But if we control our emotions, then we can walk through that valley of the shadow of death because we have control over those emotions.
And there's something key that's there. And like you said, he was conscious of his human nature. He knew the correlation between the valley and fear. He knew the correlation between it. And so, like, when we understand about ourselves, like we real with ourselves, like there was a quote. I was in my man Lynch Hunt. He does a class every Thursday. One of my mentors, and they said a quote in there. They said, "Life wouldn't be so hard if we didn't expect it to be so easy." I could have left the class then. Like, I could have just left. Like, I could have just walked out.
Say that one more time.
Life wouldn't be so hard if we didn't expect it to be so easy. And so your expectations, and that ties in, you know, the book I'm writing, Expect Great.
Yeah.
Expect great, dealing with those expectations. You know what I mean? So at first, before he could even get to the point where he's writing about this, before he got to the valley of the shadow of death, he had to set his expectations on, okay, I have to go through this.
Yeah.
And not only do I have to go through this, but there's fear attached to what I have to go through.
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
That's because I fear no evil.
Yeah. When you know you're coming to an expected end. Like when you know you got to go through something to get something, and what you want to get is valuable, like you said, to go through that situation. You know what I'm saying? I think about Calvary. You know what I'm saying? Like Christ went through, you know what I'm saying, being condemned by Pontius Pilate and being given over to the hand of the Jews to be crucified. He had to go through that, but the expected end of it was greater than the trial. And I'm thinking, your dream equals struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, your dream equals struggle. Your dream doesn't equal success. Your dream equals struggle. Through that struggle, you're going to get success, but it's not dream equals success. And a lot of people think that. A lot of people think if I'm going to chase after my dreams, I'm going to equal success. That might be true, but first it's going to equal struggle. Yeah, you're going to struggle first. You're going to hit rock bottom. You're going to hit rock bottom. What I think about is when Steve Harvey said you gotta lead. Like Steve Harvey's like, if you really want that in your life, you gotta lead. And I think about Steve Harvey sleeping in his car. I think about Tyler Perry pitting on plays. Nobody coming to them joints, sleeping in his car. I think about Kevin Hart moving all the way out to Cali and being broke, and his mom putting money in the Bible, but he never opened his Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think about those stories of people that we see as success, and we might say, "Oh yeah, those are overnight celebrities or overnight successes." No, these people real life were regular people like you and I, but their dream equals struggle, and because their dream equals struggle, they were okay with that, and then it eventually led them to success.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody that we know, that we respect, has had it easy. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, if we didn't expect it to be so easy, life wouldn't be so hard. And I think that is the quote that I want to live by.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? 'Cause
no, seriously.
I don't want to expect it to be easy because it's not easy.
It's not.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy to get up every day to go to the gym. That ain't even easy.
No.
It's not easy to go down your local neighborhood and find healthy food choices. That's not easy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the struggle is worth it. The ability to run a mile and not feel like you're about to die because you ate a salad instead of a Big Mac. That feeling is worth it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
well worth it.
It's definitely worth it. It reminds me of this talk I had at the community college in Atlanta. I actually just got back not too long ago. I spoke to a group of incoming freshmen.
Okay.
And so all these kids they're from Atlanta. They all from the hood.
Yeah.
They from the parts of Atlanta that people don't. You know what I'm saying? People don't make it out.
Yeah.
People don't make it out. So I hit them with the message, the advantage of the underdog. Which I'll be dropping video to that soon. So y'all be checking that out. But we got to the point in the conversation after I kind of spilled my speech out, and we got to the point in the conversation where it's just like, what do you want? Like, what do you really want? Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And they're like, somebody said, I want to be successful. I'm like, that's not, everybody wants to be successful. It's not deep enough.
Yeah.
It's not deep enough.
No.
Like, what do you really want? Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And then they started getting it. And just a young man his name was Kobe. Sat on the front row, and he like, I want to move my mama out the hood. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what makes the Valley of the Shadow different.
Yeah.
That's what makes the Valley of the Shadow different. Right there. So we got to that. He like, yeah, I want to move my mama out the hood. I'm like, why you want to move your mama out the hood? He like, I don't want anything to happen to my mama. I love my mama.
Yeah.
And so when you get to that point where you like, somebody else is more important than me, and I know this is my dream, I know this is my job, I know that I'm working towards it, but it's not even about me. You know what I'm saying? This was somebody else. Then the Valley of the Shadow of Death, it's nothing. It's nothing.
That's real. That's real. Your dream gotta be something for somebody else to be able to be pushed by, motivated by, inspired by, or changed by. Because we had a situation the other day. We was around some people, and they were talking about how they had this new program to make all this bread.
Right. Yeah.
And I walked away from it. I was like, man, I put myself in so many situations where it was just about the bread. But I remember literally sitting in a class, stock exchange, trading stocks. And the dude was like, if you don't have a why for why you're making money, you're not even going to really want to make the money. Like, the money could be right there. There's money everywhere for you to make, for real. You just got to have ideas. But if you don't even have a real reason why you want the money, you're not even going to have a real drive to go get the money, even if you really want it. Because everybody want money, but why do people want money? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you can have the cars and do all that. It's not enough.
Yeah, like, why do 60-year-old people retire and play the lottery? Why they really want millions of dollars? Or is it just because they want money? It ain't really that they're trying to do something with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, who comes to the lottery and say, yo, when I hit this $1 million, I got this, and this that I want to do. You know what I'm saying? For the community, or for this person, or for that person. It's all out of selfish gain. Like the lottery, for me, I feel like it's out of selfish gain. You doing it just so you can have bread. But if you're not doing it to impact nobody else, you're not supposed to win. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to get no bread. And then overnight money is probably the worst thing because you don't even value it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, exactly. You ain't been through the shadow of death to get to the life on the other end. You know what I'm saying? They say the darkest point of night is right before dawn. So I feel like if you feel that you in a place where you can't make it out of, or you don't think you can make it out of, you about to make it through.
Yeah.
That's the moment where if you keep on pushing, you about to get it. I remember I saw a post on Instagram today by this dude named APAC. He's a comedian out of DC. And he said you could do the same thing for 4 years and not get no recognition. On the 5th year, you could blow up. The power of not giving up is something real.
Yeah.
So when you just keep on pushing, keep on grinding, making sure that you giving your 100%, 120%, 140% effort at the thing that you want, it might not happen when you think it's going to happen, but it's going to happen for you if you don't give up. I love that. I love that.
So you got even though it gets tough and even though you get battered, that's why you gotta recover while moving.
Yeah.
You gotta recover while moving.
Definitely recover while moving. Well, you know what it is. It's Greater.inc. Greater than yesterday. Tuesdays with Tony. Oh, I messed it up. Greater.inc. Greater than yesterday, but you'll be even greater tomorrow. And you know it's Tuesdays with Tony, man.
Alright,
we'll have it up later today. Peace.
Peace.